Oh, don't mind me, just reading up on Laszlo Toth. My local cinema gave out these flyers and postcards of his supposed work. Don't worry, it hasn't spoilt too much of the film, only confirmed to me something I was already speculating, that he's a student of the Bauhaus, and it's clear from his name and now knowing he's part of the Bauhaus, he's very much inspired by Laszlo Moholy-Nagy, if I'm pronouncing that right, especially when you look at some of his graphic design work and the graphic design of the posters and everything with this film. This film has been a bumpy ride for me. It's gone from my most anticipated film of the year, seeing that spectacular trailer with that big bombastic music coming in, and I just loved that kind of side-scrolling trailer. But then all of the AI accusations came out and it's kind of flip-flopped. It went from like my most anticipated film of the year to not being interested at all, to being back somewhere near around the middle once, you know, more about the AI stuff came out. Brady Corbett came out and confirmed that there was no AI generated imagery in the film, and that, you know, the whole thing with Laszlo Toth's accent, Adrian Brody, his accent being tweaked. I don't know enough about that form of AI, and from what I've heard, from what I've seen, from what other people have said and how it's been reported, that feels more like not generative AI, but AI that's tweaking things, you know. It's not an AI generating his voice. It's going in and, similar to auto-tune, changing some notes, changing some things to make it sound more authentically Hungarian. As I understand so far, it's not a generative AI, more like the AI that they use in, say, the Dune movies for the eye tracking is generative AI. That's the problem. And that I'm opposed to. Is not the same as something like Late Night in the Devil, where they just blatantly used AI as their, you know, graphics. That's something I'd never support, but here, after learning a bit more about it, I've got some more confidence back in the film. And, you know, the way this film was marketed and messaged, it was like, this is a return to filmmaking, this is artistry. And, you know, when the whole AI stuff came out, I was like, that's so counterintuitive, counter to what the film is supposedly about. But some of my concerns there have been squashed now. And just as a disclaimer, if I decide to title this film like Architect Reacts or something, I'm a Part 1 architect. Architect is a legally protected term in the UK. I'm a Part 1 architect, not a fully qualified architect. I've done my bachelor's in architectural studies, but I haven't done a master's or the necessary work experience to be fully considered an architect. But for brevity, I've titled the video that. Just a disclaimer so I don't get in trouble with the Royal Institute of British Architects, who kind of mediate all of that. That's where I'm coming at this from. So let's jump into it. There's a full-length version of this reaction if you've got the time over on my Patreon, where you sync up your own footage and can watch along with me. There's also polls so you can vote for what's next, and early access to upcoming reactions too. Let's hop into the film. Yeah, starting off ominous with the air raid sirens, okay. An overture. I know it's them moving to America to escape Europe at the time. That's so good. The trailer with that theme was so good. I need to look up who does the soundtrack actually.
Valóban budapesti, ahogy a hölgy állítja. Meg tudnám mondani az utca és a házszámot? Ott van maga. Akarjuk, hogy hazajusson. Az igazi otthonába.
Oh, yeah. We want to help you get home, your true home.
Micsoda boldogság. Felsikoltottam örömömben, mikor láttam hírt kapok felőled.
Okay, so he's been separated from someone. Is that Felicity Jones, his wife? Starting off very chaotic. The chaos of being a refugee.
Biztatnak, hogy élvezzük a szabadságunkat.
Enjoy your freedoms, not your freedom. What little they give you.
Elhatalmasodjon rajtad.
Yeah.
Sem jobb vagy rosszabb, mint ahogy elképzelnéd.
It's no better nor worse than you might imagine. Don't let your imagination run wild with how bad it could be.
Kérlek, írj, amikor ezt megkaptad.
Opening the doors. Oh, match with that big hue of music, yeah. Oh, I just got chills already. And the Statue of Liberty.
És én követni foglak.
Upside down though. We've only been in the film for like a minute, but
Erzsébet.
the joy, just shaking each other, you know they've made it.
Please see me about your $25 travel aid.
Yeah, so he's landed in New York, but New York isn't where most of the film is set, is it? I'm pretty sure. So he gets relocated somewhere else. Although, you know, if he's an architect, you probably dream of seeing New York, seeing all the architecture in New York. This isn't the way he imagined he'd be seeing it. I've never been and I'd love to go.
Don't you think I'm beautiful?
I do.
Oh wow, okay. He's been away from his wife so long. She's got a bit of an accent as well, so maybe she's an immigrant who's come across to, needs to do this to survive.
Good luck. Good luck, thanks.
He's so hopeful though, isn't he? So smiley. It's his new life, a new start, isn't it? Off to Philadelphia. Ah, here we go. Okay. And it's doing the same scroll across like with the trailers. Yeah, as I said, you can clearly see the inspiration with this from Laszlo Moholy-Nagy. We're just on the road to Philadelphia. It's funny, when I was at university, I helped design like a mock magazine called the Brighton Architectural Review, BAR, bar, and there's this motif of a bar going across the whole thing, which is almost very similar to the style they're using here. I designed it, and the wonderful Zimri Mayfield, who's also on YouTube, did like a critique of it, and then I redesigned it after. Part 1, The Enigma of Arrival. Okay, family, cousin.
It's a lie.
Okay, he's getting the news, getting the letter. Oh, wow. It's more hope, isn't it? Even more. But also maybe a slight feeling of guilt escaping all the way here without them. Also, you know, with him assuming her dead, maybe it means when going to the prostitutes the night before, it's a bit more acceptable. I don't know. He's not cheating if he thought she was dead.
We like that table next to the perfume man. And we'd say, well, we can make you something like that.
Furniture making. Is he going to be furniture making? A lot of architects do design their furniture. Charles and Reims, obviously, the big one. Oh, well, in the book as well, in this as well, there's the Toff Chaise Lounge, so we might see him design that.
It's just caught in the lamp for now, but
Right, somewhere, isn't it? Somewhere to stay.
Who is Miller?
I'm Miller.
Oh,
You are Mona.
he changed his name to fit in more. Okay.
No Miller, no sons.
Yeah. The folks here, they're like a family business.
Yeah, you have to cater, don't you? Doesn't have any sons, but calls it Miller and Sons.
So what do you think?
They're not very beautiful.
Yeah, I was thinking if he was designing furniture, it would be a lot more modern than this.
You have done more than enough.
Don't mention it.
I do mention it.
I wonder how he's going to react to all of this. Does he feel like it's too much of a handout? He wants to make it himself, you know?
Listen up. Kitchen's closed, folks. Get back early tomorrow.
Ah, damn.
I got a kid here.
Sorry, we're fresh out.
Oh, I can't do anything for the kid. Yeah, he's with Attila, but he's still having to queue for food and everything.
You let him sleep tomorrow. I will be here early.
Nice, helping people out. Yeah, you gotta help each other out. Yeah, he cherishes this letter. Look at how careful he is with it. But it's the start of him designing again. Okay, talking about Israel there as well. I had seen before this as well, along with the AI stuff, people accusing the film of being Zionist and then other people saying it's not. You know, I try and stay spoiler free as much as I can, but from what I'd seen, people were saying, you know, you have this kind of American dream that the film is critiquing, and obviously at the time as well, you've got this Israeli dream too.
What do you think I should pair it with?
Leave it.
It speaks for itself.
Looks like a tricycle.
Yeah, they're not used to this style.
If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers.
Practicing his accent, his tongue twisters, yeah.
I hope that someone might follow me out there to take a look at my father's study. My sister and I would like to surprise him, you see.
Okay. Well, you'll need to send someone out to do measurements and everything.
Maybe make him a ladder with little wheels on it, you know? Like you'd see in a real library.
That doesn't sound like Laszlo's style, though, does it? I think Laszlo might have a grander ambition than just a regular library.
Adapting production techniques to expedite the manufacturing of cargo ships during the war.
A lot of money made during the war.
Stay right until you see the main house. You can park wherever you'd like.
Yeah, we're really going to get this disparity of wealth here, aren't we? These are maybe even people who've profited off of Laszlo's misery, you know? Oh, it's huge. Yeah, look at the tall ceilings.
You want for us to replace that?
A branch fell on it during the nasty storm.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't see the crack at first. I was thinking they can't replace that. That was gorgeous.
If to be finished on Thursday, we need extra hands, including materials, glass.
Yeah, it's a tight turnaround. I'm assuming Harry's dad there is Guy Pearce, his character. Yeah, what's Laszlo thinking when his Elizabeth is elsewhere, seeing a happy couple?
Riding a bicycle.
No. Nice, bring it back to that as well. The thing is, I've seen the trailers. I know at some point he's in a worse place than this. So something must happen.
When do you expect your wife might join you, Mr. Tall? There's not room for the both of you in that storage place.
Yeah, he's going to have to get his own place eventually.
Thank you for the dinner.
Is she a bit...
You're not what I expected from what I read about you.
I was thinking, is she a bit ready for him to leave?
You know, I'm sure you could get a job.
Does she want him out of her hair? Stop relying on them?
We'll be working for someone.
It's better than sleeping in a storage closet.
I mean, he's working for them here, but yeah, he's got a lot of freedom in design, doesn't he? He wants to lead projects, not just be part of them.
Thank you again for the dinner.
That felt like that kind of came out the blue, especially for him. Didn't see any signs of her, you know, resenting him being here yet. Him overstaying his welcome.
Bring the buses. Don't drop. Here.
Yeah, he's got a big collection. Be careful with all his books. Ah, it's a lovely space. I feel like this shouldn't be used as a library. If you've got a south-facing, got to keep the curtains closed the whole time. Maybe pick a north-facing room instead.
Close to the roof.
Oh, God. Damn. They all move in tandem. Yeah, that's cool. Must be fulfilling for Laszlo after all this time seeing a design fully realized. Yeah, I mean, there it is. The Toff Chaise Lounge with the little mirror from that photo. Right in the spotlight. I wonder how the dad is actually going to react to the design. It's very clean and empty. No ornamentation on the bookshelves or anything. I guess with these opening fans, it protects the books from the sunlight so you can have a lighter space while they're on the shelves. Yeah, that must be his thinking. Oh, he's not home early or something, is he?
What is this? What is all this?
What's he thinking?
Who authorized you to come into my home and tear everything apart?
Yeah, and he sees the shattered glass as well.
Only to discover a strange Negro man roaming around our property.
Ugh.
You've turned it all inside out. How do you know its proper place?
Did he have a system of where things were? You know, it was a mess, but it was an organized mess.
This is not all right. This is my home. God damn you!
I mean, I was wondering how he'd react to the space being different, but the surprise of it as well is no good. I thought he might not like the design just in general, but it is Guy Pearce's character who I know becomes a patron of Laszlo, so something must change.
Harry Lee called. He says he won't pay.
Oh, really?
He says we damaged the property and I'm lucky if he doesn't take me to court.
Yeah, with the stained glass.
Laszlo. Befogadtalak a házamban.
Or is he pinning this on Laszlo?
You make a pass at my wife? She told me.
That's a lie as well.
I know you've been through a lot.
Did she say that to expedite, you know? Did Audrey say that to get him out? Or did it actually happen?
Úgy címen vagyok elérhető. Várlak. Várok és várok.
Oh, is that blood on his sheets there? From before with his son, William?
Laszlo?
Oh yeah, it's been quite some time actually. Look how thick his beard is now.
Do me a favor and hold off on that until we punch the clock.
I thought it was just him smoking for a moment there, but no, you wouldn't have that reaction to just smoking. Is it heroin he had a lighter for?
I do not permit my people from home to see me as a beggar.
He wants to keep up appearances, yeah. Even when he was in line for the food bank, he still had his nice coat on and everything.
Laszlo Toth, is that you? I've been looking for you.
Yeah, did he like it after all?
What can I do for you, sir?
I would like to take you to lunch.
Maybe over time he's come to appreciate his library.
Bauhaus. Oh, marvelous.
Yeah, Bauhaus is like the architectural school at that time.
So what do you think?
He got recognition for his library, yeah. Maybe he didn't actually like it, it's more just the status.
These are yours, yes?
Oh yeah, that's that one. There it is. Are these, yeah, renderings, photos of actual buildings?
You could have elaborated a little more on your background. You didn't do yourself any favors back there.
He was enraged, I don't think.
Jack the midstone of the shouting.
Yeah, they're on better terms now.
My mother was dying.
So he was on edge, yeah.
I'm also doing the construction for a bowling alley.
Oh, he's doing some other work on the side, yeah.
But listen, I'm not here to boast or to grieve. I've come to pay you the monies you're owed.
Oh, he's, yeah, actually getting paid.
It was not my suggestion you and your partner should not be paid. I only found out about that after the fact.
It was the son.
I would like you to come and see it in the daylight.
I've already seen it.
But complete, lived in, yeah. Yeah, I do wonder with Van Bruin, it's is it more just the recognition and the praise he got for his it being in the paper there, it being in the magazine? Because he says he cherishes it, but he doesn't talk about the actual quality of the light or the space or anything, does he? How he enjoys the room. I think it was more just the status of it. Yeah, that's what the light was for earlier. Yeah, don't be in a state when this car comes to get you Sunday morning. Look at that lens flare on that light going down the full frame. Is that something to do with VistaVision? They advertise so much this was shot on VistaVision. Although you do get it with the highlights of Laszlo there. It might be a lens they have on the camera.
My friend is in there, please.
My nose. I said go home.
Oh, his nose was already bad, wasn't it?
On the seat there beside you, there's a pressed dinner jacket.
Oh, they've sent him, wow, some clothes as well. Oh, there's some sort of event. It's not actually just him. I was also wondering, has Harrison done anything to the room that kind of imposes on Toth's vision?
Mr. Toth's work is celebrated throughout much of Western and Central Europe. There are many features on
it wasn't him bringing him here to see the, the library completed in its full glory. He brought him here as a centerpiece for this party.
But my wife, she tries to come now, here, to join me.
They've got all this money, they can help out.
You know, there's something called the Displaced Persons Act that's recently gone into effect.
He knows his law.
100,000 European persons admission for permanent residence.
Oh, permanent residence, yeah.
The way the space surrounds one, the forced perspective.
I think so, yes.
It's like it's just on display, not in use though.
Is there a better description of a cube than that of its construction?
Is there more to it?
Many of the sites of my projects had survived. They remain there, still in the city.
Brutalist, they're tough. Concrete wouldn't burn down.
But my buildings were devised to endure such erosion, the Danube's shoreline.
It means something more now. They're holding steady, they're withstanding.
And so on this site, we plan to build a center for the community.
For the community.
Van Buren.
Or his mother, yeah.
This
But the music cue, so ominous.
a place for gathering, reflecting, learning.
Yeah, this should be a great moment, but yeah, the music isn't.
I would like you to build this for her.
Of course, he wants him in on the project.
It is no coincidence that fate brought us together on the eve of my mother's death.
Oh, he thinks it's, something deeper because it was the eve of his mum's death.
What do you say?
Put on the spot here, though, in front of all these people.
Present it to you.
You'd like to win the commission.
Yeah, a lot of commissions are competitions.
I have no idea of the parameters.
Once I have...
Yeah, I guess US, there'll be different regulations and things he'll have to work with, yeah.
Oh yes, Laszlo, come in. I've had a vision.
A vision? I wonder how much freedom Laszlo is going to have with the design. Or is it all just going to be Harrison's vision?
What do you think about a gymnasium?
He's just throwing ideas. It's going to be a building that has everything.
Perhaps a swimming pool.
I can't swim.
Okay.
Perhaps it is too expensive.
Don't talk to me about money.
I don't think that's going to be a problem on this project.
A Christian congregation.
But it is a community center for all people.
Oh, now it's... so it's starting to shift the project.
An auditorium, a gymnasium, a library.
Father described...
And now like a chapel all in one building.
That is 4 bills, Harry.
Yeah, it's 4 buildings, not 1.
It's ambitious. I thought you'd like that.
I think Harrison wants something ambitious, something grand.
Megismertem egy befolyásos amerikai jogászt, aki azt állítja, tudna segíteni neked és Zsófiának.
Oh, gone 4x3 there. Can all of that fit on this site, this hilltop site?
Szerelmed.
Okay, yeah. Incorporating crosses. He needs to put the chapel in, even if he's Jewish. Oh, wow, yeah, the negative space at the top. Is that the full building there? It's monumental, isn't it?
Total occupancy of 500 persons on each side.
Ooh. This whole underground space reminded me a lot of the work of Nervi. The name slipped my mind as I was recording the reaction, and I forgot to mention it in the discussion, so I thought I'd slip it in here. But very similar, especially this image on the left with this almost liminal space.
Harry, where are we at with our discussions with the mayor's office?
They're waiting on us.
Good.
Oh yeah, they need to approve the design as well. Oh, he's still using when he's here. Even, oh, oh damn. Even when he's got much more here.
Will your father be joining us as well?
No, he's overseas on business, I'm afraid.
Oh, without Harrison being here, it might be a bit... He's got the, you know, the gift of the gab, the be able to convince, you know.
Carpenters, painters, upwards of 150 upon completion.
Oh yeah, the Whaler lights coming in, illuminating the center there.
I would also like to address some of the written concerns and comments.
Yeah, it's like a critique. He's having to defend himself.
You may rest assured that we will honor the traditions of Doylestown.
Yeah, as though isn't imposing anything of his beliefs on the town.
Please to pass the how do you call it? The torch.
This feels like maybe the selling point. What might convince them?
Is suitable for 119 persons.
Oh yeah, the music's kicking in.
At sunset.
But perfectly at midday.
At noon.
You can hear the chattering, that's convincing people. What are you thinking? Ah, then into construction. They're actually holding off on actually showing the effect of that. Is that on purpose? There will be a reveal when it's finally built. We'll finally see the full effect of the cross that's formed.
Családi fényképet is tudott nekem adni, amelyeken te...
Okay. Is she soon to be over?
Ez azt jelenti, hogy hamarosan újra találkozhatunk.
Steel.
Oh, there's the intermission. How are they going to do this? Because I know the intermission was actually like 15 or so minutes. Oh yeah, perfect. The wedding photo. Okay, yeah, it's only a minute. They're counting down. I am going to make the most of the intermission because it is midday and have a quick lunch and grab some water and be right back. I just thought I'd take the intermission to talk a bit more about the design of the building itself. I talk a bit about it right at the end of the video in the discussion, but I thought I'd insert a few more thoughts here as well. The interior as well, the volume and the quality of the space reminds me a lot of St. Agnes's Church in Berlin by Werner Duttmann. All of these columns in this photo and then just the big volume of space seems very similar to what we see in Toft's design. And then what I really wanted to talk about was a bit more about this cross at the top. I am wondering if, because this inverted cross, this negative space cross, we find out later on, he designed, obviously everything was very purposeful, but he designed all of the rooms with these specific dimensions in mind, with the tunnels connecting them, showing his love and connection. But I wonder if this inverted cross is almost like a FU to them forcing Christian iconography into his building when he is not Christian himself. I wonder, because it's inverted, because it's the negative space, if that's a way for him to like subtly get back at them, or even avoid having like a proper cross there, because there's not a cross on his building, there's the inverse of a cross on his building, if that makes sense. You know, experiencing the film as intended, with a little intermission there as well. The hardcore of beauty. 53 to 60. Oh, is this them arriving? Oh, it's got to be. We start the first half with an arrival, and then we're starting the second half with the next one.
Zsofia! Zsofia!
He's found them. She's in a wheelchair.
Nem maradandó.
Might not be permanent, okay.
Csontritkulás. Az éhezés miatt.
From the famine, but now she'll have plenty of food.
Haven't you told them anything about me?
Laszlo, how long have you been here now?
He's kept to himself, yeah.
She understands very well.
The woman behind the man.
Oh, kind of cuts her out of frame, yeah.
On Leslie's recommendation, we've shown your plans to another architect.
What?
Oh, okay.
These are minor changes.
Minor changes. Cutting corners.
No, Ragudj. Kislányként emlékeztem rád.
He hasn't seen her in so long. I was wondering if seeing Isabeth in the wheelchair would influence anything at all. Change design to be more accessible.
Don't be angry with me.
I think surely he's just more happy that he's alive, that she's alive.
I had dreams. Every night I dreamt I was with you.
Yeah, not how she was expecting their first night together.
But I realized they were not fantasies at all.
Oh, but visions, wow.
I was with you.
Oh, tear running down his face.
We're going into town this afternoon to see Attila. Would you like to come?
Yeah, has he even seen Attila all of this time?
Men about in the other room.
Just being, yeah, near him, his existence.
Fantastic.
Is she working out her legs there, keeping them from fatiguing?
I have a friend in New York, a newspaper man.
Oh, this same shot. Huh.
Mention you to him?
It's very kind of you, Mr. Van Buren.
He's providing them with a lot of opportunities, isn't he?
I enjoy showing friends around Manhattan. You can't have seen much of it on your way here.
And does he have his eyes on her the way he's looking out that window?
I would need no more than 10,000 bottles, all told. So, once the cellar was full, it was time to set about in a new direction.
He's more of a collector.
If you were to drink a bottle of Madeira every day, I shouldn't think you'd last 30 years.
Yeah, I feel like there's little jabs of disrespect in those conversations. Oh.
How dare you! How dare I what? You go behind the back!
Yeah, he's pulling strings behind the back, okay.
Well, I'm afraid it's not up to you. The casts are already finished. We put in that order over a month ago.
What?
Over a month ago. Yeah, how much is it changing?
It cuts 3 meters from the top. I add it to the bottom.
We can't afford all this. I'm already over budget this quarter.
You take what you need from my fee, Leslie.
Yeah, it's not fitting his vision, is it? No, you know, it's all metaphor for Brady as well. It being filmmaking, dealing with a board of people you have to appease with the film and getting your vision on screen as well.
Everything is your fault.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it'd be trying to work things out. No. Everything ugly is his fault.
I think it's time you went home. Thank you. Your insight.
Was he inciting that to get him off the project?
He's an idiot, though.
Come on.
Yeah, dealing with contractors, other architects, it's difficult. My flatmate is also an architect. Is working on some projects at the moment, and it's always difficult dealing with contractors who want to save money here and there, and they impose on their vision, but then they see the architects as overbearing, too controlling, and think that they look down on them.
3, 2, 1.
Breaking ground, yeah.
Take a lot of horses to do.
Oh, look how much William's grown up, yeah. It's nice that we've had Gordon along for the project.
A little birdie that keeps her trap shut. Comes off like a rude affectation.
It's because of her situation before, you know, it's keeping quiet is a way of survival.
How it runs in the family.
Something they learn in the war.
I didn't say I'd like to slip my prick into her.
Look at Harry, you know, standing uphill to be taller.
We tolerate you.
Oh, getting some insight into what they really think.
Bring the chair, please.
Yeah, I was expecting that conversation there to be interrupted by her coming over.
You all right?
Something happened.
It has been a lovely day.
It certainly has been.
Yeah, he made that comment earlier.
I am forfeiting the remainder of my fee due to some expenses unforeseen.
Yeah, what does that mean for their finances?
All right, so what will that mean for us?
I think Sophia knows.
I will figure something out.
We will figure something out. Suppose we can make do on my salary.
Yeah, he doesn't know about that.
Oh, that's not what Laszlo tells me. He says he couldn't have done it without you.
It's all a group project, isn't it? Everyone working together.
I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
He's all right. He was too young then to remember much.
It still impacts you as you get older, though, doesn't it?
Gusta's sister looked after him until I got back. Kept me alive, though, knowing he was waiting for me.
Something waiting for you back home.
I'm just looking at you.
Oh, yeah, it's an insight into him. Oh, yeah, a bit of progress. It's good that it's got a bit of community there, Jewish community, and the couple that he met at that dinner as well. Oh, damn. It's all derailed. Oh, is she getting worse? Oh, is that going to be a big cost?
Too much. I need Jovia. She has my medication.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, is that metaphorically things are going off the rails?
How the hell do you find these people?
Transport company's our own, Dad.
What?
Oh,
Send our own guys to Charleston.
it's their own company, their own train company. Wow.
2 brakemen in the hospital. It's a real mess out there.
Send flowers to the families, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, keep up appearances.
Well, our crew. Let them go.
You can't, sir. You cannot
Yes,
do that.
I can. Yes.
Lay them all off. How long is this going to delay everything?
People are going to write about this.
Yeah, it's going to be a big scandal.
You're welcome to stay here until you find your footing elsewhere. I have a mess to clean up.
There's no way the whole thing's just being thrown out like that. It's when he's angry and stressed, he makes brash decisions. Just like before with the library. He'll come to his senses.
You have a kid. I will give you something, and you will take it.
Yeah, take it for him.
I'm off it.
He should be too. Throwing out all your stuff as well. No.
Husband!
Oh, I like their sofa and coffee table there built on cinder blocks.
You have to march over there right now and get him excited again. Keep him engaged.
Yeah, how can you keep faith in the project?
November 23rd, 1958.
58. What was the exact number we were on before? Has it been the 2 years that the project was supposed to be? Was it 56? Has she got a job in New York? Is this why we're here?
Laszlo Toth. He draws there.
Ah.
Yeah, it's L-A-S.
So he's got a job at just an architecture firm.
Draftsmen are right upstairs.
He's not leading any projects though. Draftsman just drawing for them.
We are making Alia.
What?
We are going to Jerusalem.
She's actually talking now though. Found a man.
Our repatriation is our liberation.
He doesn't believe that.
I am Jewish. My child is Jewish. We must go home now.
Does it somehow make us less Jewish that we are here?
Oh.
But we would like you to come.
Yeah, like, you can't just uproot your whole life.
What's your news, Laszlo?
Ask me back.
Yeah, they're carrying on the project. Stuck it between a rock and a hard place.
You'll be in Doylestown again now.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be fine.
Away from her in New York. Off to select the marble. The contrast of like the pristine marble with all the work tools around, that is kind of great.
I'm sure he'll be along in a minute.
Oh yeah, he's got some grey in his hair now, doesn't he? Italians aren't exactly known for their punctuality.
Sai, io non vedo più molti di quelli di prima della guerra. Comunque io non sono sorpreso di vederti qui ora.
He's tough, he endures, just like his buildings.
Non ho mai abbandonato questa terra. E anche io lo sono.
Feels almost dreamlike here, doesn't it? Out of sequence dialogue, handheld cam. Use some water to reveal their brilliance, yeah. It's beating like a heart, wow. Wow. Yeah, that's one of the shots that was always in the trailers. Just the scale of it.
I remember much love and party.
Partying in the caves? Or... got a wife back home now that you know is alive as well. This isn't like before. Could I be a fool to ever leave you, dear? How the lyrics as well. Is Harrison here as well? Maybe not, he's not seeing any of this. Oh. No, he is, yeah, up there. Oh, that feels so ominous. The fact it's like a super villain, I don't know, the back of his head there. Oh, he seems quite disheveled as well. He's had a bit to drink, stumbling about. Is he just chucking up, or is he... Oh, his arm's out, yeah.
You have so much potential. But you squander it.
What has Laszlo ever done to actually squander any of the opportunities, though? It was all Harrison who squandered the opportunities.
Let it out. It's all right.
What?
Who do you think you are?
It's just power. Power over him. Ah, he's jealous of the education side as well. Yeah, insecure about that, of course. There might have also been jealousies dancing with that girl. Harrison, this whole time we've never seen him with anyone. Talking about his dead wife. I don't know. Laszlo was getting attention even though he sees Laszlo as so beneath him.
Stayed last night. Orazio carried you to bed.
Huh. Does Laszlo remember?
It was a 4-hour train to the airport in Fiumicino.
All this echo reverberation. Yeah, Harrison's he's just playing it off. Okay, yeah, getting some time passing. Things are developing.
Annyira gyönyörű. A kiköpött hasonmásod.
Oh yeah, the baby, of course, born now. Oh, you can see that, the cross now in the negative space.
Helyette megszállotta a Roya Doystoani építménye folyosóit.
He just lost himself in this.
Hogy vagy? Hogy valójában hogy vagy?
Finally getting to see some of the construction.
Melegségünket küldjük mintába.
Glimpses at it. Yeah, this underground. Saw those pillars before in his sketches. Oh, yeah, of course, she's come to visit.
Are you stupid? You want to pull this whole thing down? Want to get them all killed? Your childish showboating puts everyone here at risk.
This is the first impression of coming along as well.
Jim designed a hotel in Stamford.
That's enough.
Yeah, he's just losing it, isn't he?
Do you want to wait around for another few years for another lawsuit to resolve itself?
Oh, yeah, I guess paranoid after the lawsuit.
Sick! You hear me?
We have a lot of the shots of the road, don't we? It's one of his headlights out, though. Ah, she still calls out to her in her pain, yeah. First instinct is to call out to her.
Do you have more in your purse?
Do they not have more? Oh. It relieves pain, but don't get her hooked. Ah, no.
This is what they gave me on the boat for my broken face.
Is that what got him addicted in the first place? And he's got to take some himself as well. Again, this lens or whatever with the streaks up and down.
Darling, can I come in?
Yeah, it's too ominous.
Help me! Help!
Was she foaming at the mouth there? Oh, and we finally get to see it. Wow. It's not the full effect of it when it's at the perfect time of day. Oh, you cut right away from that. Don't know her fate.
What did you do to me, my Leslie?
Yeah, was it because of that? She overdosed?
This whole country is rotten.
Yeah, she wants to leave as well now.
I'm going to Israel to be with Sophia and her child.
Just matter of fact, I'm going. Not a conversation of let's go. Just I'm going.
Follow you until I die.
Leave the project here then? I mean, it looked like it was nearly at completion, actually. We've only ever seen her in a wheelchair, haven't we? So that seems like there's been improvement.
You can finally meet my fiance.
Oh, yeah, so much time has passed.
Jim Simpson mentioned he hadn't been on site since last Friday.
Shame.
Oh, quite a while.
Sit down.
I'm fine to stand.
Yeah, she's just here to make an announcement or something.
Difficult for you to hear.
If this is a professional matter, then perhaps you and I should talk in the other room.
She wants to announce it to everyone.
Your father is a rapist.
Oh, she's just exposing it.
Excuse me?
Huh. Wow.
I'm calling your husband to come and fetch you.
Your father is an evil rapist.
Laszlo did actually confess in her. Okay.
Tell him what you did to my husband. Tell him what you did.
Look at him, he's gone so red.
I have offered him nothing but kindness.
Of course, it'll play it off.
I think I've endured enough abuse for one evening. You can tell your husband.
He's endured enough abuse.
Harry, let her go! You are not...
You're not excused, yeah.
Shame! Shame on you!
Does Laszlo even know that she's done this?
Please?
Harry, the father's gone to bed anyhow.
Yeah, he's just treated away.
Father! It's over now.
Yeah, look at this one shot. Handheld, desperate, in denial.
Where the hell has he gone? Call for outside.
He's not there. Okay. I thought maybe after that being exposed, you might find him.
Harrison! Harrison!
Maybe the library. Are they just gonna find him? Oh, at the project. Yeah, maybe. I think there's that lake that they were around. Are they just gonna find him, you know, face first in the lake or something of the sort? Ha! We've never seen the, you know, the full effect of the light in coming through. Could you imagine him just there? It's such a maze, isn't it? Yeah, the main room. Wow, there's the reveal. Okay, it wasn't him like there laying on it, but the first architecture biennale. Okay, 1980s, so quite a bit later. I'm assuming, yeah, they found a body. Yeah, it's Venice Biennale. Is Laszlo gonna be here, or? Huh, it's the same motif, the dun 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 dun, but synthesized now. Wow. Laszlo Toth, Presence of the Past. Oh wow, yeah, there he is. Yeah, it's like his life's work.
Possessed an immovable core, a hardcore of beauty.
Oh, the hardcore of beauty.
The inherent laws of concrete things such as mountains and rock
Immovable.
remained unfinished until 1973.
1973.
For this project, he reimagined the camp's claustrophobic interior.
Oh wow, okay.
Precisely the same dimensions as his own place of imprisonment.
Yeah, well, yeah, we never knew any of that.
When visitors looked 20 meters upwards, the dramatic heights of the glass roof above them.
Same dimensions, but there was more height. There's freedom looking up.
On the same grounds, connected by a myriad of secret corridors.
Huh. That's why he was so,
So that he and Elizabeth would never be apart again.
wow. Yeah, that's why he was so sure on getting all of that done.
It is the destination, not the journey.
It is the destination, not the journey. I don't know how I feel about that. Huh. And the music choice as well. Okay. Okay, so that was The Brutalist. I'm still contemplating the end there. I don't think what was said was supposed to be taken literally. It's the destination, not the journey. No, no, no. I think that's just someone being misguided. Yeah, just trying to, you know, obviously there's a huge filmmaking metaphor with everything Laszlo went through and, you know, studio interference, putting your own money into it, the balance between artistic vision and, you know, the commercial money-making side of it. But then I think there's also this endurance. Just as his buildings, Laszlo has endured, he's stayed strong and he's lived through all of this atrocity at the hands of Harrison or at the hands of the Nazis, and he's lived this long life, and we see him there much older, and this kind of look back on his whole life there. And like his buildings, he has endured all of this weathering, all of this erosion. He has managed to survive it and come out on the other side with this legacy as well. But it really is this, you know, I love this type of movie that's a sprawling epic, someone's whole life, you know, and with the runtime, of course, it feels like that. You were in there for so long. You're following these characters for not only, you know, the 3-hour runtime, but this expanse over their life, which I always love. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about the very end, the cut to the 80s and seeing the Venice Biennale. I do like the subtlety, like we don't need to have seen Harrison's body to know what had happened there, and they didn't even mention it at the end. But I don't know if I felt a sense of closure there, though, in a way. You know, we kind of hear secondhand how the building was finished much later. It was only finished in 1973, probably because there was a scandal of Harrison's body being found. He definitely got what he deserved, but it's like I maybe would have liked, because we went through all of that, it was just such a focus on this one building and seeing the whole process of the building, but we never see the building in use. I feel like that might have given me this closure that I'm maybe wanting here. I just maybe want to see, you know, the building open to the public finally. And even if it was delayed so long, if there's an investigation into Harrison's death, maybe I would have preferred that to the Venice Biennale ending here. You know, keep it the same, keep that the opening was delayed that long, but have it be the opening and it's just people exploring this space. And I did love the reveal of him basing the dimensions off of, you know, where he was and the tunnels connecting him with Elizabeth. It was like, the reveal of that was great, and that explains why he was so committed and so anal about all of the dimensions being perfect, and having the tunnels built in, and, you know, having the other architects come in and oversee and try and like cut costs and cut out things that impeded on his vision and what he was trying to do there. You could have still had that, but had that revealed at the opening of the space. I think that would have maybe worked better than what they did at the end there, because yeah, we never see the building. Obviously, I know it's not a real building that they built for the film, but we never see the building in use. I would have loved to have just seen a grand opening and it's just people walking around the space. They're just running their hands across the wall, feeling the texture of the space. I think that might have been more satisfying. Although, yeah, the reveal, the impact of finding out all of the dimensions, that was still really cool. And, you know, he does the dimensions of the rooms, but they've got that extended ceiling height, which is like this hope, this almost way to look up to freedom in a way. I really liked that, adding much more emotional weight and significance to the building personally for Laszlo. Not just because it was this like passion project designing it and, you know, getting it his way, but it adds just this another level to it, doesn't it? And it adds another reason why, you know, he couldn't just walk away at some points as well. So I know I've interrupted the video a few times with these like post recordings but I just wanted to do some extended thoughts here, because I actually disagree with some of what I said here. I think I was too focused on the feeling of closure, wanting to have this closure with the building, seeing the final design, but it's purposeful, isn't it, from the film to not show that off as this critique of the American dream once again that they were going for. And then Zofia at the end, you know, I talked about how Laszlo has endured, and he has, and he is still alive there, but he is so frail and fragile, and like I said, he's in the wheelchair now, and it's like he's being spoken over, and that's kind of ironic coming from Zofia as well, considering we barely see her talk in the film too. It's like he's lost control of his own narrative, and he did sneakily put his own narrative back in with part of the design of the building, but it's not a very hopeful ending, even though he has endured, you know. I think, yeah, I was just too fixated on wanting to see the final building and get that sense of closure, but it's purposeful from the film that we don't get to see that, isn't it? And on the Zionism point, you know, I don't think the film is overtly or even subvertly trying to promote it. It's more that it's just a matter of fact that's the case at the time. And, you know, this whole film is a deconstruction of the American dream, but it's almost like as well, because they were unwelcome, they felt unwelcome there. They felt like, well, maybe let's try Israel or go, you know. If the American dream hadn't failed them, they wouldn't want to leave, would they? I think that's part of it as well. And it's just part of the reality of that time, of being Jewish at that time, that's an option available to you. So, of course, it's going to be brought up, it's going to be thought about, it's going to be pondered over. It's just a reality of depicting Jewish life at that time, you know. And I think that's also where, you know, the kind of misguided ending line comes from. It's the destination, not the journey. I think that line like maybe could have worked in a sense of like Laszlo's architecture being like a destination. People travel from all around the world to visit his work. I don't know if that's what part of what she was implying there, but yeah, it just feels misguided because as well, you know, they'd got to the destination, they'd got to America and then weren't welcomed there. And, you know, I mentioned it at the start just to get it out the way before the discussion about all the AI stuff, the re-speecher, which was used to tweak Adrian Brody's Hungarian accent. I just don't feel like it's necessary, really. I don't think you need to be so perfectionist to have that, you know. I think there is value in artist performance. I don't feel like there's a need to augment his performance, and it was only when he was speaking Hungarian so it sounded right to Hungarians. Obviously that doesn't affect me because I don't speak Hungarian, so I can't see the issues in what he was saying, you know, before they did all the processing, which obviously I didn't see in this film. But I think there's far more value in an imperfect, authentic performance than there is an artificial, perfect performance. Because like, as much as, you know, there's films with horrible accents, people dunking on people's awful accents in films, there is a charm to it. It's part of the human element of film and part of the process. So I can understand why Brady would do that, but personally, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think I would augment people's performances like that. But, you know, as well, there is, I think, a balance there, because when it comes to, say, motion capture performances, you know, by the nature of that, capturing someone's performance and putting it onto a face that's not exactly their own, you are altering their performance there. There is like a fine line there, I think, as well. I think that's why, you know, the likes of Andy Serkis, I remember when, you know, it was first kind of floating the idea of giving him awards for his performances as Gollum or Caesar. You know, I don't know if the Academy said this, but the kind of idea was that how much of it is really his performance, how much of the performance is the animators who are kind of translating the motion capture onto the characters as well, you know. There is like a fine line there, but I think that is also different to what was happening here too. And there's always going to be a certain amount of interference. Like even with these videos, I record my audio and then I adjust the EQ and I adjust things to make it sound good on video. So there is like a kind of grey area there, I think, as well. And, you know, the actual architecture itself, brutalism can be quite a Marmite style. Some people love it, some people hate it. It can be quite controversial. I liked what I saw there, because with brutalism, you are kind of forced to appreciate the quality of the space, and it kind of strips back a lot of elements and you're just focusing on, you know, the volume of the space, the material of the concrete. I actually quite liked, you know, they had the argument about the marble, and maybe Laszlo did get his way there because the only marble was that kind of centerpiece of the chapel, but I really liked the effect of that. And yeah, the light coming down, the effect of the lights, all of these little openings that let the light through and form the cross. It reminds me a lot of Kenzo Tange's chapel in Tokyo, And as well, the quality of the light, Peter Zumthor's Bruder Klaus Chapel, focusing on the quality of light, especially like in religious places like that, I think is really interesting. And I've done experiments with concrete myself, how lights can illuminate certain spaces, you know, on miniature scales. I always hated building models at university, but I think that was more just because of like the deadline and stress side of it. When you have a finished model in front of you, it's so nice to have, and you know, it's much easier to portray the space to a general audience than a drawing. And when he's like presenting it to everyone and shining the light down, it feels like that's the spectacle, that's the moment that convinced them all, really, wasn't it? And back to the filmmaking metaphor, I do feel like, you know, a lot of it's the architect, the lead architect and director, they are very, very similar roles, because at the end of the day, filmmaking and architecture, they are group projects. You need huge swaths of hands on site, on deck, to turn this vision into reality. Although it is one person's vision, it is a collaborative effort. It's one person steering the ship, but there's 100 hands rowing the boat still as well, and you need to have someone to point the direction. And you know, with like Jim coming in, this other architect, he's starting to steer it in another direction, and there's conflicts of interest and conflicts with budgeting. The metaphor there works really well. And then like Harrison, just like, it was clear, I think, from the beginning that it was ego and spectacle and praise that he was after. And, you know, whenever he's talking with Laszlo, he's like, oh, I find these conversations really intellectually stimulating. But none of that stimulation is being contributed by Harrison at all. It's all coming from Laszlo. And I think at some points Harrison doesn't even really understand what Laszlo is saying. I think if the library hadn't received this like magazine publication and hadn't received this praise that it did, he never would have gone to Laszlo. And the whole thing is obviously like this vanity project. Although it is philanthropic and it is this like community space, it's clear that it's still like a vanity project for him. He isn't like this benevolent benefactor who's allowing this artist to fulfill his vision, is he? He's doing it to put his name on it and maybe to have legacy. And, you know, there was that talk in the car of him like being a collector, and maybe that putting his own mortality into question, and maybe that's also part of it. And like, when you've got that much money, what do you do with it? He dedicated that monument to his mum as well, and I think he was insecure about his own intellectuality, if that's a word, in comparison to Laszlo. You know, we obviously have the scene in the quarry after that dance party, and that was definitely just like all about power, him having power over Laszlo, him being insecure that he isn't as intellectual as Laszlo. Maybe, as I said, a bit insecure about, you know, Laszlo getting attention from that lady there. And maybe, you know, when he finally meets Elizabeth as well, her being so beautiful, being Felicity Jones, I think maybe there's something going on there, because there's quite a few shots where it's just like him looking at her, that scene of him like almost pining over her out the window. I think there was maybe something a little there as well, because we never really see any romantic interest for him or around him. We learn of, you know, his ex-wife, but we never really see anything else with him, do we? So I think there was some of that. And I don't know if there was something between Harry and Zofia as well. There was when Harry was drunk and he obviously made that comment to Laszlo, and then she was there swimming, and you know, she's not much for conversation. And she comes, you know, running along to where they were by that lake. I'm like, did something happen off screen? If something did happen off screen, I wonder Harry's response to learning that his dad had these accusations. I wonder if that contributed to his reaction there, because if Laszlo had spoken out about it and Elizabeth had gone there, and was he worried that Zofia might come out and say something perhaps about if there was something he did there. I'm not 100% sure because obviously with Sophia, it was hard to read her emotions, and they cut away from him sitting by the water with her when she was like in a swimsuit and then she was fully dressed coming towards them. I'm like, did something happen? I'm not quite sure. And but the way she was kind of storming over there, that's what I was expecting, but she never admitted to it, never confided in anyone. Maybe she didn't feel like she had anyone to as well, even though she was close with Elizabeth. It was like Laszlo and her are obviously much closer. I'm glad Laszlo did open up about that, I guess. But she didn't like immediately confront him about it. It took a while. But obviously, I'm glad it did. He got what he deserved after it. I'm surprised because, at the dinner table, he just kind of denied it. And I thought he would just go on with his life. Maybe, Maggie, was it? The other twin? She would, have her doubts. She was much more caring to Elizabeth than... Obviously, Harry was throwing her to the ground and dragging her out, but I wonder if that would have, if Harrison hadn't gone missing and probably died, as I assume there, would that have like planted a seed of doubt for Maggie? And then one other kind of anecdote I wanted to talk about in the quarry scene. The quarry scene reminded me of meeting Armin Taha of Groupwork Architects, who did 15 Clerkenwell Close in London. I'll throw up a photo. Some of you might recognize it. Seeing the big quarry reminded me of the story of that building and how he went to Normandy to see the stone and how it was so much cheaper than originally planned because it was supposed to have a bronze facade at first, but it ended up with this gorgeous final product with these fossils embedded into the stone, which is so cool. I don't know, just the image of the quarry reminded me of that like anecdote. And then that building had a few controversies over the years because around planning permission and the exact placement of the fossils, if that would cause structural problems. But it's such a great building, and it was great to meet him and get a tour of the building itself, see the penthouse, everything. I just thought I'd throw that in there as well. Yeah, the quarry scene, I was going to say all of this, but it ended up being quite eventful and I didn't quite have a place to squeeze this story in with the with everything that was happening in the film. Okay, so I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. And if you really love this, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all future uploads. Yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.